We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Jaelan Phillips, Miami Dolphins edge defender, and I thought he was the best Dolphins defender last season, most impactful when he was playing before he got injured. Like, he was playing at a super high level, so disruptive, instinctive versus the run, makes an impact there, obviously, and then just so many pressures, doing it from very wide alignments, winning in multiple different ways, having, multiple pass rush moves, and his back could even move him in the interior, having him win that way. He also has like the highest hustle effort I've ever seen, man. This guy's motor is insane, and he flies around the field. Insane athlete. So him getting that injury, the Achilles injury, which was devastating to the Dolphins team, and I think really hurt them a lot. They added to the edge room, so they don't need him to rush him back. But I do think he'll be ready near the start of the season, if not right at the start of the season. Probably playing limited snaps, but if he can return at least a little bit to form, that's huge for the Dolphins. I still expect him to be a great player in this league. Maybe this year won't be his most impactful year coming off the Achilles, but still, I think he's a top-tier edge rusher, and he's been proving that. I think he goes a little underrated, honestly, around the league. Very exciting player to watch, in my opinion, and able to win in multiple different ways. And he's a better run defender than I think people give him credit for, too, making an impact there, whether it's taking on blocks setting the edge or, holding a zone and then, knifing to the inside, outside, spinning off things. Love watching him work. I think he'll be a pretty good fit within the system. And honestly, he'll probably get even more rest this year, just knowing the guys that they have around him. They added to the edge room overall, so that will be exciting. But here, Phillips off the edge. I don't think people realize how much attention Phillips got to. There's so many reps of him just, getting chipped, the running back playing to his side, the tight end, or him just getting doubled, triple teamed overall. So he's aligned, wide alignment there, and the tight end is to his side, so he can't get as explosive up the field as he wants, so he has to dip his shoulder there. But even then, doing that with the right tackle, he's able to sort of reset himself, get him back in the position he wants, get wide, attack that outside half of his man, get engaged, rip underneath, win with his hands there, around the edge. Very good explosiveness. I think he's actually was one of the, Lane Johnson is the best right tackle in the league, and I think he gave Lane Johnson the most trouble I've seen him ever have, maybe. He never struggles, and, Lane Johnson doesn't give up sacks. And here he is just quickly winning to the inside. So explosive. He's so explosive to the outside. He was even giving Lane some trouble to the outside at times, and Lane is a super athlete, one of the best technicians in the league, too. Gives that hard stab out there, gets into oversight enough, feels that space open up to the inside, and is able to split the right tackle and right guard. Shows some nice core strength too, getting through there, and then keep working after it and finish with the sack on Jalen Hurts. Love those types of plays. Making good plays, impact versus the run. He can definitely, if the Titans are trying to block him straight up, he's definitely too lengthy, powerful for those guys. He'll beat them at the point of attack pretty much every time, whether, it's versus the run mainly, but also as a pass rusher, which I think is important for Phillips. Very exciting to watch him work in these situations. And then you can just see the bend, the explosiveness, different types of moves. Well, we've seen him knife to the inside. He loves to win around the edge with, he'll use some different moves like cross chops, stuff like that, but he loves to use that rip. Love the slow play. He likes to mix up the pace of his reps here. Looks like from here he might hit it a hop cross chop, but he doesn't. He ends up, shooting underneath, reducing his surface area to get under here, and then rip pass. You can see him. The offensive lineman's not able to get hands to his chest by his body. Positioning here, leverage, and then the bend, the lower body flexion from this position. Usually a lot of guys in this position might slip, fall. But he's able to stay on his feet. That's great athleticism. Able to get after Herbert there. Kind of forced a throwaway. That's kind of where he made a lot of money. And he didn't even play a ton of games last year due to that injury. So, his numbers, I think, would actually been really good. Probably his best number statistical season. But, he's out there just getting pressures over and over and over again. It's something he's able to do very consistently. Guys to his help, the Chargers kept putting bunches to his side here. He has to align so wide because he's got a running back and a tight end to his side when the Chargers are in empty, and he's able to just still win quickly around the edge, rip, bend, get after Herbert. And that was a huge situation because this was a third down in that game, and they were going in to score, and it basically forced Herbert to basically throw it away again. And he kind of put this game away. Even though the defense didn't play that good in week 1 versus Los Angeles, he was pretty much all over Herbert on this final 2 drives. Another tight end to his side. This time you get to see him translate some power here. Hit a bull rush. It's not being straight speed to power because usually he'll hit that hard outside foot right there, stab in the ground and then speed to power, which he definitely can. But the Titan kind of slows down his momentum, and he's still able to, win with leverage. Great hand placement. Look at him, force back into the pocket, doing that type of work. Then another rep just winning around the edge. Everyone pretty much wins there. Herbert, floats to his left early, so the other guys get the sack. But the right guard was just getting absolutely bullied all game, winning around the edge. He loves to hit those, dip and rip moves. Phillips will definitely make money with it. And he's like, the size, length, athleticism combo that Jaelan Phillips possesses is so special. And look at this one. This is wide 9 to the max, because they lined another tight end to his side of the field. Kind of similar to what we saw earlier. Pretty similar positioning with how wide he is. And usually, your edge would be probably like right here inside shade. So he can't get, as wide as he wants. So he just aligns outside of him and just beats the 79 to the point of attack. Great job getting after Herbert. Love that mix-up right there. Here's him creating more pressure versus Lane Johnson. We saw him, knife to the inside earlier. This one, he attacks a little more of the mid, the mid lane of this, of the right tackle. Mid lane. Didn't even mean to do that, but yeah. Sets this up, gives a little bit of a stab to the inside. Works some footwork, some fluidity. Kind of keeps him off balance. Now he has to respect that. And then boom, looks like, he might try to win with that dip rip to the outside, but he hits him with like the long arm, create that push back into the pocket. You're not going to get, those types of looks, those types of wins. Like, that's a good rep for him, instantly to win like that, especially against a player like Lane Johnson, who's so good. Love him filling the overset and the running back to the outside. The running back's releasing to the outside, so he knows he doesn't have that clear path, and he feels a little bit of overset here from the right tackle. So he just sets this up, times it perfectly, boom, hits a club, arm over, swim move like that, and then continues to work after, get down to Aidan O'Connell, finish it for a nice little win there. Continuously making impact plays for the run. This is something Phillips does really well, is usually crossing offensive lineman's face on the backside of runs. So was going to cross his face there, but Stevenson makes a quick cut. He recognizes it, so he spins out and still makes a, that's just a really instinctive play, because it's instinctive to knife to the inside across the face here to begin with on the backside of a run. So feeling that instantly, but then feeling that Stevenson is making a quick comeback to spin out of it, impressive. That's something he definitely feels a lot of comfortability doing. Like seeing him taking on a puller, recognizing that he's left here unblocked. Tight ends, climbing up to the second level instantly. They're down blocking. He identifies the pulling guard, drops, the hammer into him, get that right shoulder, doesn't get moved out of the play. Love his play strength. I think that's an underrated aspect of his game. I think people think of him as like just very athletic and plays with a strong motor, which is very true as well. But I do think, he's a little better of a, technique guy too. Like, he'll definitely has enough repertoire moves, and he plays with some good play strength. Fires off the ball, wins in multiple different ways. He was just so impactful, man, and he got so much attention. Like, him and Chubb would both get attention, but Phillips was constantly, I think, facing double teams, like always having a running back tight end to his side. Like seeing this stuff, because within this new system, they're gonna run some twists and stunts, and I love how, with how explosive he is, he's gonna attack that outside half of the right tackle, boom, and throw his whole body into the right guard, and now Steelers able to loop around and get the free hit on Mahomes, but take two guys basically out of the play. You got to be able to do that. Phillips playing unselfish there. Love to see it. Phillips getting triple teamed to this side pretty much, and ends up getting through everyone because he's getting chipped by McKinnon. Has to beat the right tackle, gets to the inside of him. The right guard even comes to help too, because the center ends up taking on Wilkins. So 3 guys to take him on. He's splitting through, forces Mahomes to throw it up deep, doesn't get completed. Just great job disrupting these plays over and over and over. Okay, and here's Phillips on the screen here to begin with. He's actually dropping. Actually, we'll say Phillips, when dropping into coverage last year, looked better than I expected. Like, I'm not really thinking of him as a drop guy. He has a 3-4 edge, so he'll play as an outside linebacker. But when he dropped, he actually looked pretty good. And probably when he was at his best is when quarterback would escape the pocket, because his hustle effort, and just look at this speed, man. He is a freak athlete. You should not be able to move like that. Here's another example of it. This time aligned up more of his, the edge place time, drop into coverage, take away throwing lane. And then Mahomes escaping the pocket. And then look at Phillips' close. Look where he is in relation to Mahomes. And look at this closing speed. That's insane. That is insane. And the hustle effort there is too. Because he has some insane hustle plays. Probably the best hustle plays I've seen a Dolphins player like ever have, truly. So big fan of Jaelan Phillips for so many reasons. I think he actually goes a little underrated. around the league, but also even by the Dolphins fan base. I think people don't realize how good Phillips is. Like last year, I think everyone thinks Phillips is good, but I don't think people realized that he was definitely, in my opinion, the best player on the Dolphins defense last year. But I don't even think people give him credit for top 3 at times. So, big Jaelan Phillips fan. Even though he's coming off the Achilles, I still expect to see a decent year out of him, but also just the future for him. I'm paying him, I'm keeping him around because I think there's so much still upside there to reach, and he's already very, very good right now. I think he's just like, he's close to being in that like elite tier. Like he was on his way there last year, before that injury, and I think we're gonna get that in the future within the next 2 seasons after he's like fully healthy. So if you guys loved the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the copy.